It's New Year's Day and I have been laying around scrolling on TikTok, minding my own business until I got to the Australian 2025 New Year's celebration livestream. For some reason, we all get really obsessed with Australia being the first country whose smartphone tells them that it's January 1st. Their performing was none other than the monkey man himself, Robbie Williams. Everyone seemed to have a great time singing some of his most popular songs while Old Man did a little dance. Well, not everyone had a great time singing. From time to time I read one angry TikTok message after the other talking about how much they hate Robbie. My name is Skal, I do not have an intro, and let's talk about an old pop star who did absolutely nothing wrong except being cringe while his wife gave birth. For some reason, a certain group of people is very mad. Now, if you don't wanna have a old English dude saying angels during your birth, drop a little sub and subscribe. On October 2nd, 2024, Paramount released a trailer which would start the entire controversy. The trailer showed a monkey living among us humans, while a guy did this cringy voiceover. Now, at first, people, mostly film bros, got very excited because it's a monkey. But the excitement wouldn't hold on for long, as the circle of grief started. One person after the other would start questioning who this man is. Most of those humans lived in a country between the Atlantic and Pacific. TikTok got flooded with concerned Americans asking who this man is and why they never heard of him. Europeans, being the helpful people that they are, spammed into their comments things like, "How don't you know who my mate Robbie is? This shit's bonkers, innit?" Robbie, for short, is a man born in 1974 in England, in a place called Stoke-on-Trent. In 1990, he joined an unknown group called Take That, which still makes music to this day, mostly without Robbie in it. He left it for the first time in 1995, which started his solo career, which was pretty successful. He used to have the record for most sold tickets in one day before Eras Tour. Later on, he rejoined the group again in 2009. He left it again in 2014. From time to time, though, he still comes back to sing in one or two tracks, but he never really stayed. Now, songs that I know from the band include Shine, Relight the Fire, and The Flood. The last one I know thanks to a German YouTuber playing a 18-year-old forever stuck in second grade, dissing her ex-boyfriend while flashing the camera. Now, to Robbie himself, he had or still has a very good solo career with hits like Rock DJ, which, thanks to a flood of hate, got stuck into my head. He also has a bunch of hit songs like Let Me Entertain You, which was a childhood favorite of mine. Now his most popular song is Angels with 500 million streams, which some Americans know, like Taylor Swift, who had a duet with him at Wembley. Now, there is one song that you guys in the US know. His song Candy, from his 2012 album Take That Crown, has around 180k videos with it and was a pretty big deal on TikTok in 2020. It goes something like, "Hey, ho, here she goes, she's a little too hot and a little too low, with more self-esteem and vertigo. I think she's made of candy." You know, that song. It got pretty popular, but not a lot of people went and were like, who made this? For example, this woman thought that Candy was made by a guy called Andy Grammer. Similar to her not knowing who Robbie Williams is and only knowing this one track, I do not know who Andy Grammer is. Never heard that name. I heard one of his songs being Honey Good, which I hate with every single bone of my body. Now, I know that Andy Grammer isn't as big as Robbie Williams is, but he still had a few like hit singles, and theoretically his streaming numbers are pretty similar to what Robbie Williams has, so I know that he isn't as big, but just to compare. The thing is though, an international star not being famous in certain countries isn't too out of the ordinary and can happen. One example of that is Bad Bunny. I know Bad Bunny thanks to his song Yonaguni. From there on, I started listening to him, and it went to a point that in 2023, I played his album Un Verano Sinti for a bunch of my friends, telling them how much I like listening to Bad Bunny. Their response to me glazing this man were, "Who the fuck is that?" Which I was pretty shocked. Now, you may think, this is just your friend group that doesn't know who Bad Bunny is. But other than that, people know Bad Bunny is where you're from. Well, I saw a TikTok that listed the biggest Spotify artist from the past few years, and for 3 or 4 years this title went to Bad Bunny, which the person in the video told his mostly Austrian and German audience. The comments then were filled with, "I never heard of this man, who is this and why is he so popular?" Now I could just continue with listing off artists that made it in a few countries but not in the US or not in Germany or not in, I don't know, Taiwan, but I'm not. That is just a normal phenomena that certain countries do not like listening to certain popular artists, and that's just it. Sometimes you just cannot break through in certain countries. Now, any normal group of people would just accept that. Sometimes you just don't break through in certain places, and that's okay. But we're not talking to normal people here. We are talking to freedom itself. This woman is seriously suggesting that we as a planet got together, made up a wannabe queer icon, then turned him into a monkey and learned a bunch of 90s tracks just to fuck with her, which is so funny. Now, she and the people that liked her post aren't the only people that think that this man was made up. Another man tried to prove that this man is made up by claiming that his Wikipedia page was created just a few weeks ago and not sometime in 2015. Like, who the fuck are we arguing here with? The entire OVO staff? Now, there is another point made that why even market it in the US to US audiences if he isn't famous there, which is valid. Why put all this money into showing people a trailer about a guy they never heard of being played by a chimp? For no reason. People in cinema must have gotten a stroke seeing one of the Madagascar monkeys tell them their ass belongs to them.